How is it going, everybody? It is the 20th of January 2020. We just finished the NFC and AFC Championship games. I'm Justin, and as always, I'm joined by Perry.
Yeah, we did finish those games. And, I just want to be clear. Pat Mahomes is amazing, but he does like his steak well done. And I gotta say, Justin, if you were a steak, you'd be well done.
Th- Thank you, Perry. I appreciate that.
But he does like his steak well done. And with ketchup, it's just, I just don't eat steak.
Is that Mahomes?
Yeah, he has a deal with Heinz ketchup because of this.
That's gross.
I know, just don't eat steak.
If you don't want to eat steak, just don't eat it, but don't make it gross.
They don't ruin it. That steak could have been happy and made somebody else happy by being medium to medium rare.
Yeah. What? Speaking of, what are we talking about today, Perry?
I have no idea. No.
We're just
Uh,
recapping the AFC and
yeah,
NFC Championship game.
yeah,
Uh,
we're talking about football, hopefully.
yeah,
Uh,
at some point.
yeah, I'm sure I'll bring something else up that has nothing to do with that. But yeah, we're talking about football. We're talking about the Super Bowl matchup. I know you've probably got a lot to talk about with the Super Bowl matchup. I'm sure you're
What
very
do you mean?
excited. Well, the 49ers found out who they're going to lose to in the Super Bowl.
Oh man, why would I have a lot to talk about?
I have no idea. I'm going
Uh,
to make this.
I took a drink out of my 49er cup as I said
Oh, okay. Yeah. I can't see you.
it. Yeah.
Those jokes don't work.
Everyone else
Don't
did
some
saw it
idea.
though. That's all that matters. I don't care if you get it, Perry.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that. We have a little bit of news to cover, just a few rumors floating around the NFL, a big retirement that I want to chat about for a second. There's lots of news nobody cares about.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh yeah. It's all
plenty of
over the
that.
place.
Plenty of that going on right now. And other than that, it's just, I mean, it's kind of a slow time fantasy wise. So we're just kind of gearing up for the end of the season, right? When all that free agent starts, news starts to flow in, all the new coach hires, that sort of thing. We're just trying to wait for that to all happen, and then things will really light up here in the next month and a half or so. So,
Okay. Well, what's new with you, Perry? Our show's a little bit late
well,
this week.
I mean, I've had the most sick week of my life, and I'm not exaggerating at all. Last Sunday, you and I watched a couple games together. We went out. Uh, I got home that night, and I felt very sick. My throat was sore. Uh, Woke up in the next morning with the flu, which not ideal. I haven't had the flu. I don't even remember the last time I had the flu. Uh, I tried to go to work the following day. They sent me home. I was coughing so much I gave myself a migraine. I was down all day with a migraine and the flu. Woke up the next day, still sick with the flu. Migraine was gone, thank God. But then our roommates got home and she was sick. She had the cold. And guess what? I caught it. So I went from flu to migraine to cold all in 1 week. If I cough, I'm sorry, but yeah, I've been sick, sick, sick. And our producer Sean is also sick right now, so not a healthy home.
Yeah, I will not be coming to visit anytime soon
Why not?
because I'm trying to survive into my 40s, Perry.
Yeah, we're just building our immune system for our 40s, Justin. Come on.
Nope, you got to stay in a bubble.
Oh man, I'm gonna be in my 30s this year. Sorry, that has nothing to do with anything.
I, I wish I was coming to that realization right now.
Yeah. Well, you're not as old as Andy.
That's true.
My
And
brother is
yeah,
the oldest person ever.
yeah, I think he set the Guinness Book of World Records this year for the oldest living creature.
He seems to every year. I don't know. That's kind of how it works out.
Every day, really.
Yeah. What's new with you?
Um, Man, not too much. We got a 4 day weekend. I don't know if anyone else out there watches MMA. I was super excited for this UFC fight that just happened this weekend. So as
Yeah.
well, so I watched that
Did you get
and
your money's worth?
all. Well,
40
luckily,
seconds.
yeah, luckily I went somewhere and watched it where I didn't actually pay. So Yeah, it's like 30 seconds long. Man, that was wild.
I feel
Uh,
like there should be a disclaimer, right, when you buy this pay-per-view that is just like, hey, if it's under a minute, we'll give you like 20% of your money back or something.
right?
Because, like, you're right, it was exciting to see, but man, if I had paid like $100 or whatever for pay-per-view, I would have been upset.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, who won? Who
Uh,
won that fight?
oh, McGregor easily won. It was, yeah, it was embarrassing. I think that UFC actually set that fight up against Cerrone to try and build McGregor's name back up after he lost his last fight and the boxing match before that. So I think they're trying to make a big name off him. Different show.
Well,
That's stuff for a different show though. I'll probably be on some show somewhere talking MMA at some point because I love MMA as well, and I could talk about that for probably an hour or two.
sorry about that. It was a little warm in here. I had the window cracked, and then, of course, the dump truck drives. It's been silent all morning. So, yeah, that's a conspiracy theorist dream right there. You think they're setting up these fights to make them easier?
Yeah, I think so. Just to build his name up, which is what I hate about boxing. So
Wow, that's really what Conor McGregor needs is for them to build his name up.
I know. So it'll be interesting to see how that turns out. But anyway, we got some football stuff going on too. You want to take us through some news, Perry?
Yeah, like I said, I don't have a ton of news. I really don't.
Yeah.
There's big retirement from the NFL. Luke Kuechly, amazing linebacker, retires from the Panthers after what is it, 8 seasons, I believe. He's been All Pro,
29. How old was he? 29? I
something
believe.
like that. He's
Yeah.
All Pro in all 8 of his seasons in Carolina, an All Pro. He had 1,092 tackles in his career, 12 and a half sacks, 18 interceptions, 7 forced fumbles. Like Luke Kuechly, one of the best. I mean, if he had played long enough, that argument would be made for him for sure. He cited that he just didn't feel like he was fast enough anymore, that he was good enough to play. He says he wants to keep playing, but he's not good enough. That's a tough realization for these guys to come to. I can't
Right.
imagine. Like, you have to work your whole life to get to that point, and you need to be more confident than the next guy and know that you can do it in order to get there. And then the realization of, like, I can't do it as well as I used to is probably really hard for these guys
I'm
to
impressed
realize.
with them though that like he was able to take that self-reflection and do that like and see that yeah I'm not good enough to continue this.
Right. I think that's important. I mean, I think he probably was good enough to keep going, right? He would have had to change his game or whatever it may have been. Maybe the team has to change the game around him a little bit, and I think he would have probably made a Pro Bowl again next year. But um, yeah, I mean, it's a personal choice. I wonder if, just the toll it's taken on his body over the last 8 years played a part in his decision here. It's a rough game, obviously. So, yeah, I mean, it's sad to see Luke Kuechly go because I like watching good players play. But I mean, I wish him the best, definitely. And I think that he's mentioned that he'd love to get into coaching.
Yeah, I would like to see that.
So I think that that would be great for him. And I think that'd be
Do,
good for the players that he coaches.
do you think he's a Hall of Famer?
Yeah, I mean, I think he is. I think careers are getting shorter,
Mm.
right? And in the current climate of NFL, I think an 8 season career, you make the Pro Bowl all 8 seasons. Yeah, I mean, probably not first ballot, probably not even
Yeah.
second ballot, right?
Uh,
Because he didn't win a Super Bowl. But yeah, Luke Kuechly, I could see it. I
yeah,
just
I definitely think he should be. Like you said though, I don't think he'll be first ballot.
Right. I just think with the current climate in the NFL of players, I mean, an 8 year career is actually that's a long career in the NFL. A lot of people feel like 8 years isn't that long, but when you're a middle linebacker getting hit every single play, it's a long career. So, um, okay, two more pieces of news here. Tom Brady, who we've been talking about a lot, and we'll probably continue to talk about a lot here for the next few months. His house is officially on the market in Massachusetts. Now, that doesn't mean anything, right? Unlike us, rich people buy and sell houses all the time. So,
Well, you don't do that?
no, I haven't even done the first part yet. uh, yeah, so but he is planning on relocating permanently out of Massachusetts, which is a little bit more of a big deal. I think that Tom Brady is upset at the fact that he is the 13th
Yeah,
highest
he said
paid.
he was embarrassed.
Right. He's embarrassed about the money he makes. 13th highest paid quarterback in the league currently. And let's be clear, a lot of that is brought on by himself by taking pay cuts for the Patriots so they could go surround him with better players. I don't think that he's completely self unaware of that fact. I think that he knows that, but the problem is that this last season, that was the worst offense that's ever been around Tom Brady. And if he's basically saying, hey, if I'm going to go out there and take a bunch of pay cuts, it's because I want talent around me so we can go win Super Bowls. And I think he's fed up with that. He's like, hey, if we're not going to go bring talent in, I want to bring a paycheck in. Which, okay, fine. Yeah, I guess that's his prerogative.
Yeah, and I think all of it too, like him saying he's embarrassed by it, I don't think that's reality. I think that's him posturing for a better business deal because at the end of the
Yeah,
day, that's what's happening here is they're trying to negotiate a business deal. So I don't think he's actually embarrassed because, like you said, it's brought on by himself, which he understood what he was doing for the purposes you said. So I don't think he's really embarrassed. Just he's like, I'm getting paid this year.
right, exactly. And I don't think Tom Brady actually needs money, right? Nobody thinks Tom Brady needs money. Giselle makes a boatload of money, and Tom Brady makes a boatload of money outside of the NFL. It has everything to do with, hey, I'm the greatest quarterback, possibly the greatest player to ever play this game, and I'm getting paid middle of the pack for my position, and you guys aren't doing anything to bring people in to help me win more championships. That's the only reason he's still there, is to win championships. Let's be honest. So personally, I do not think Tom Brady will be a Patriot next year. I do not. I do not think that Bill Belichick wants him there. I don't think that Robert Kraft is willing to give him a huge deal at the age that he's at. And I think Tom Brady is kind of over that relationship, especially with Bill Belichick. So,
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, I think Tom Brady's days in Boston are over. That being said, let's talk about the next guy. Philip Rivers has officially relocated his family from San Diego to Florida. Does that mean he's going to be a Dolphin? I don't know. I think that might be a good place for him, to be completely honest with you.
I think that's more just because Philip Rivers is an old man, and that's where all old men go to retire.
It's an interesting take. Um, yeah, I don't know if he's going to play for Miami, but it's interesting because I lived in San Diego for 2 years, and everybody down there loves Philip Rivers, and Philip Rivers seemed to love the community of San Diego. When the team moved to LA, he stayed in San Diego, and I think we've covered this before, but he commuted every single day to LA, and I've done that drive. It's not easy. That is a long drive every day, and I know that he has a driver, and he just studies film in the back, but that's 2+ hours every single day each way. That Philip Rivers was doing that so he could stay in San Diego. The fact that he's leaving is a big deal. I think that Philip Rivers is done in LA with the Chargers. I don't think Philip Rivers will be a Charger the next season. Tom Brady, I know we've talked about that this might be a really good spot for him to land. I think that this is just more fuel for that fire.
Yeah, exactly. Like the rumor mill is going to be going crazy now with these two things happening like right at the same time.
Yeah. I wonder if there's any discussion between the two of
Uh,
like Philip letting Tom know, like, hey man, I'm out of here. It's yours if you want it.
he could.
Good.
Yeah. SP, one of our followers, big. He's a huge Chargers fan, but he has sent Philip Rivers' family is actually from Florida as well.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah, so that makes sense. But like you said, I mean, I wonder if there is discussion between the two of them about that.
Yeah.
Like, hey man, I'm done. Like, I'm leaving, and then that's when Tom Brady's like, all right, I'm selling my house so I could get ready to try and move out there to to L.A.
Yeah. I man, if I were a quarterback looking for a home, the Chargers seem like a very good spot to land, to be completely honest with you. Hunter Henry, Keenan Allen, Melvin Gordon, the list goes on the talent on that team. And
Yeah, and then the wide receivers too.
well, I said Keenan Allen.
Well, no, the other ones. I
Oh yeah.
mean, and uh, I think that they have like a quite a bit of depth at wide receiver on their team, and they have for a few years. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, then again, also Tom Brady's arm strength isn't his strength at this point in his career, and I know they have a lot of speed there, so that might not be the best for him.
I mean, he can still put the ball downfield if he has to. And
That's
the fact
true.
that they've got the two running backs and the tight end that he can drop down to over and over and over again. They've got a running game that actually exists in Melvin Gordon that opens up the play action. I really think that if Tom Brady goes there, they will at least compete for the division. Let's all remember that the Chiefs are there, and I don't know if Tom Brady wants to be in the same division as Pat Mahomes, but okay. That's all the news I really wanted to bring up.
Yeah,
So
there's definitely some smaller news out there I've seen, but nothing that I think we need to cover. A lot of people declaring for the draft and things like that. We'll wait until we get more to cover that all at once, so that way we're not just constantly hitting you with one or two guys who have declared.
right,
But
news nobody cares about.
yes, we do have news nobody cares about. So this happened last week. We didn't cover it yet, so I had to bring it up. Odell Beckham Jr. had a warrant issued for his arrest after smacking an officer on the butt.
Yeah, in the LSU locker room after the national championship.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. Did you see the video?
Yeah,
You hit him on the butt with the clipboard, and the officer was not happy about it.
he was not.
Yeah, it looked like he did it in good fun, but like the officer wasn't happy. Also, I don't know why there are so many cops in that locker room.
Yeah, there was something going on. They were talking to some other player. I don't know the full story.
Yeah, I didn't
But
see why. I haven't seen anything why when they're covering that.
yeah, Odell just walks up and smacks him right on the butt.
Yeah, so the officer now says he's not going to press charges. They did issue a warrant for his arrest prior to that, though. I saw Reddit was killing Odell Beckham Jr. over this one. They're like, good luck finding him. The Browns haven't been able to do it all season. But yeah, so that happened. We'll see what comes out of that. But the memes that are going to come out of that are already make it worth it.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh man, I saw this video that it was a hype video for the Titans talking about how like physical they are and then like it has their coach, a close up of their coach standing on the sideline in the video, and he's yelling out there, and one of the refs comes running up the sideline and just clears him, just completely knocks him, like destroys him.
That was last week.
Yeah, and they're like, and they're mostly unapologetic, and right after the ref hits him, you hear him go, "Sorry."
Yeah, Mike Vrabel got completely plowed over by the ref. That was, I mean, he shouldn't have been standing there. So
I just can't believe that ref took him out like that, though. That was a good hit.
dude, the refs are real. Like what's his name? Mike Hockley. Mike Hockley, that ref is buff.
Yeah.
Like terrifyingly buff.
I know. I wouldn't want him to run into me.
Yeah, I know. He's like pass interference, and I'd be like, "Yep, it was."
You just don't disagree with them.
Sorry.
You never throw the challenge flag for any call he makes.
No,
It's
no,
like,
no.
what? You're like, oh, I dropped it. Sorry.
Yeah. No, that's actually just my snot rag.
It's my terrible towel. Okay, so did you see Mecole Hardman showing up to the game?
No.
Oh my god. So he showed up in classic LL Cool J attire from like the early 90s, full boombox on the shoulder, rocking it from dressed in the exact same outfit that LL Cool J wore in the Ice Cold video in the early 90s. No one else probably saw that, but uh
Yeah.
that's awesome.
You saw it.
Yeah, right? And that's all that matters.
Yeah. Mecole, it's going to be very good. I think he's going to have a good career.
Yeah, man, I love that outfit too. I saw that, and I was going for the Titans until I saw that, and then I'm like, okay, let's go, Mecole. Just you. I don't care about anyone else.
I was still going for the Titans. Neither of the teams I wanted to win won.
Oh, thanks, Perry. And then last piece of news no one cares about. George Kittle shows up to the press conference after the game wearing a T-shirt with a picture of shirtless Jimmy GQ.
I saw that.
Autographed by him, and it said "To George" on the shirt. He said he saved it for a special occasion.
Yeah, that was actually really funny.
Yeah.
George Kittle is a character, man.
He cracks me up. I've started following him on Twitter now just so I can see, because he posts hilarious things every day. I'm like,
Yeah.
shouldn't you be practicing right now? But no,
There's
he
like
doesn't need to.
There's like a new trend in the NFL, maybe not so all that new, but like Gronk and Kelsey and Kittle, they're all hilarious.
Oh yeah, I know tight ends are the new like wide receivers, like, and wide receivers are the new cornerbacks. Because it used to be cornerbacks were divas, that was like their thing, and they caused problems on teams because their egos are so big. Now wide receivers doing that, and you got tight ends, or they're just being hilarious and the life of the team.
Did you see the Richard Sherman, Darrell Revis Twitter?
Oh yes,
I can't
I
believe you didn't
did.
bring that up.
Oh my god, yeah. So I was actually reading it this morning. I thought, yeah, I must have. I don't know where I put that. I thought I saved in my notes, but I didn't.
Uh, Basically, after the game, Revis and Sherman were going back and forth, and Revis was basically saying that Sherman got beat, and he did get beat pretty bad on that.
Oh
Huge
yeah, I
catch.
did.
But Sherman basically threw back at him that he'll be playing in the Super Bowl while Revis is just sitting at home.
Yeah, and he's like, and you know, I was an All Pro in my 9th year. How was your 9th year in the NFL?
Yeah, he's like, I'm playing in the Super Bowl and I'm in the Pro Bowl in my 9th year. Your 9th year looked a whole lot different.
Yeah.
At least I get to touch the ball in the playoffs, sort of stuff. You know,
And he did recover. I mean, he had that one where he got beat real bad, but then he had an interception later in the game. Like, he didn't have a bad game.
dude. I mean, we'll talk about the game, but that interception, like, yeah, great, he got it. But people are acting like he saved the game.
No, the game
It's
was
like,
well in
dude,
hand at that point.
That game was so over, and
Yeah.
Richard Sherman just was like, let's just end it now, and then that's what happened. But the beef was pretty funny.
Yeah.
And then Antonio Brown, news nobody cares about.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know if I should even put him in there anymore because I didn't know if we were only covering NFL players.
No, well, he's definitely not out. His agent Drew Rosenhaus has officially dropped him.
Yeah, as has his lawyer.
Yeah,
His lawyer quit because of unpaid lawyer fees.
I'm actually, okay, in all seriousness, I'm legitimately concerned for Antonio Brown. He needs to go see somebody. The CTE is real in that boy right now. And yeah, it's not, he'll never play in the NFL again. Period.
No, he's done. I don't think he can play in any organization because you don't know what he's going to do. Like, I don't think he could play in the XFL because it's not a talent problem. He has all the talent in the world. It's
He's
a
sick.
character problem.
He's sick.
Yeah, a mental issue.
His brain is sick. So I hope he goes and finds some help and talks to somebody, because that hit from Vontez Burfict a few years ago that just plowed him over, I think that changed his life and ruined his career.
Yeah.
So, and I hope Vontez Burfict never plays in the NFL ever again and never has a happy moment ever again. Okay, let's move on to these games.
And I hope the kicker that he Spartan kicked to the face is okay.
Yeah, I hope you do.
But that was hilarious.
Let's talk about these two games, Justin. Let's start with the first
Yes.
one, with the Chiefs Titans. The Titans did the thing that they've been doing all postseason, and they came out to an early lead.
Yeah. And
It,
and heavily on the back of Derrick Henry in the first half.
yes, Derrick Henry. I was saying it when we were hanging out last week. The man has horse legs. All right, he
Yeah.
doesn't just have human legs. He's got the two back legs of a stallion.
He's a centaur.
Yeah, I think he might be a centaur. I have been looking at 2020 early rankings here, right? I haven't done my own yet. I like to wait a little while and let the dust settle. But early rankings right now have Derrick Henry as the fifth running back off the board. I feel like that might be too far down. I get that the guys ahead of him, Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, Zeke, and Dalvin Cook, they're all amazing. And Derrick Henry is very, very good.
Yeah, and it's to me too. I think the reason why he's as low as he is because he is a little bit harder of a runner, bigger. So I think there's a little bit more of an injury scare with him. People are afraid of.
But when you've got Dalvin Cook ahead of him and you want to talk about injuries.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I'm just this is what I've heard from other people. I'm on board with you, but I've heard this from other people. Like his size is what scares them. They think he's going to get injured because of how big he is running the ball.
Right.
And I could see that, but like I said, I'm completely on board with that. Like, let's get him. I think in my rankings right now, I have him at number 5 actually.
I mean, I don't know if I put him ahead of Saquon. I understand how good Saquon is, but the risk that I've talked about is that he's on such a bad team and has to do so much work that there's a great chance of him getting hurt, and that's exactly what happened this season. He's amazing when he's on the field. There's no doubt about it. But he's on a really, really bad team, and he's going to continue to be on a really bad team. I don't know. I might put Derrick Henry.
You don't think Jason Garrett's going to help turn that team around?
No. Oh, news nobody cares about. Jason Witten wants to follow Jason Garrett.
Oh my god. Yeah, I put that out on Twitter. Yeah, and I was like, but does Jason Garrett want him to follow him?
The Giants are looking to be the most talented mediocre team ever, because that's what the Cowboys have been for the last 10 years. Anyways, so let's move on from Derrick Henry. The game itself, it looks closer than it was, right? When you look at the final score, as soon as the Chiefs and Pat Mahomes decided, yeah, all right, this is enough and we're going to win, they just went out and won. Pat Mahomes, 3 touchdowns, 294 yards. I don't know if everybody watched the game, but that run by Patrick Mahomes, where he was dead to rights, man. He was down in the backfield and then put scampers for like 27 yards and a touchdown. Did you see that play, Justin?
Oh, yeah, it was amazing.
It was amazing. He single-handedly won this game, Pat Mahomes. It was a clinic that he put on. Tyreek Hill with another 2 touchdowns.
I think the last guy could have tackled him, but he just tried to strip the ball because it's like, should I tackle him at like the 1 yard line? Like they're going to score on the next play anyway. Let me try and save strip the ball and save the touchdown.
Yeah, maybe. Interesting. Tyreek Hill, he did have the 2 touchdowns, of course, but 5 receptions for 67 yards. Tyreek Hill seems to be kind of in a different role this year. I know that he was dealing with the injury and the suspension, possible suspension, and there's a lot going on, but it feels like he's not so much of the deep threat that he used to be, and that Mecole Hartman and Demarcus Robinson are almost taking on that role a little bit more. It's kind of weird. Do you think that'll continue into next year?
Yeah, I think Hardman's going to kind of cut into the role for Tyreek. Like, he's going to hurt Tyreek's, in my rankings at least, and his value. So, yeah, I would, I think that it's going to hurt both of their value, but it's something I like for Mecole going forward.
Yeah. Anyways, the Chiefs win this game easily, 35-24. They look strong. They're at their strongest point right now in the entire season going into the Super Bowl.
And
Uh,
I would say like neither one of us are real big on Damien Williams,
yeah,
but he has been benefiting from their passing game because teams haven't been able to stay up there to guard against a run. They have to drop back into pass coverages
yeah.
for those deep passes, and he's been doing pretty good the last few weeks. He didn't have a huge game this week, but he did okay.
Yeah, I think my beef with Damien Williams all season has been that he can't handle a full workload, and I don't think that's changed. I know that he's a talented player. I know that he's athletic. I know that he can do amazing things, but he's got to play a full season for me to consider him fantasy like must own, must start.
Yeah. Do you think Darwin Thompson is like a suitable like? Do you think he takes that backfield on full time next year? Let's say.
No, I don't. I think that it's going to be a two-headed monster between Damien Williams and Darwin
Yeah,
Thompson.
and I think possibly a three-headed monster. I think they may even bring in another running back.
Yeah, I was gonna say like when we'll watch the draft obviously and free agency, and they might bring in somebody else. You're completely right. They could bring in somebody like Jordan Howard to just do all their goal line work. They could, and then that hurts all three of them, and then you're gonna have the same situation that we had this year in in Chicago
Yeah.
with Jordan Howard there. So again, I'm keeping my expectations for Damien Williams, for Darwin Thompson, for any of the running backs on this team just way tempered because I'm sorry, there's just too many of them, and none of them are three down backs. Okay, let's move on to the game you want to talk about, Justin.
I mean, I want to talk about all the games,
No, okay, shut up.
but I really want to talk about this game.
All right, the Packers and the 49ers.
Oh, there were two teams in this game?
Yeah, another game that was not as close as it looks, and it doesn't even look that close, right? This game, I actually thought it was going to be a defensive struggle, to be completely honest with you. The Niners, we all know what they have on defense, but the Packers have been quietly a very good defense all season. They could not stop the run at all. Jimmy Garoppolo, again, completely carried through the entire game.
No,
He doesn't even need to be there, Justin.
no. He did complete some key third down throws.
He threw the ball 8 times.
Yeah, but I mean for 77 yards. Uh,
No, it's
no, he completed some key throws, but yeah, he didn't need to. That's the problem. Like, it's not like Jimmy G was bad. Like,
No.
the Packers let Raheem Mostert run up and down the field.
do whatever he wants.
Yeah, just the whole game, and not just him. Debo Samuel had 2 carries for 43 yards. Like,
Yeah, I guess my point is, fantasy wise, going into next season, because I'm just throwing this out there. Jimmy G, let's all just remember this moment. He is unnecessary for this team to be good. So
absolutely.
Jimmy G is not fantasy relevant. Jimmy GQ, that is.
Yeah, if you're in a 2 QB league, then he obviously is.
Unfortunately for you, if you own him.
Yeah.
I would not want to own Jimmy Garoppolo in a 2 quarterback league. I would if I had to, but
Yeah, so I probably would just because I like to go quarterback late. And so he's going to end up being one of those options that I'm going to be stuck with. And I'm fine with that if I'm getting a late quarterback out for my second quarterback.
Yeah. Here's the sorry, my hot take from this game. Sell Raheem Mostert.
Yeah, me and Perry are actually in a league together where we co-manage a team, and
Yes.
during the game we traded Mostert for a first-round pick next year.
And it was offered to us. I couldn't believe it. Sell Raheem Mostert because they still have Tevin Coleman, they still have Matt Breida, they still have Raheem Mostert, and we have no idea who's going to be the lead back. Obviously, he had an amazing day, but I'll be completely honest with you, Justin. Tevin Coleman, had he not got injured, might have had the same day. So, sell Raheem Mostert. don't shoot him up your rankings based on this game. Please, please, please don't do that.
No,
And
whatever running back was running the ball was going to do that.
yes, yeah, pretty wild. Um, George Kittle, really quiet day, but when Jimmy G doesn't have to throw the ball for you to win, that's
Yeah.
going to be a product of that. I fully expect George Kittle to have a much bigger role in the Super Bowl, along with Deebo Samuel, along with
Yeah, they're
Daniel
going to be
Sam.
forced to throw the ball in that game. So
Yeah,
you're going to see more, I mean, from Jimmy G on that side as well. Mostert, obviously, you're going to see less rushing yards, probably more receiving yards, though, in this game,
yeah.
the game next week.
And I
Uh,
think you can expect Matt Breida to have a much larger role. I don't think Tevin Coleman will be playing in the Super Bowl.
no, yeah, that injury looked pretty rough.
Yeah,
So we'll see how he. I hope it's not a serious injury from him, but we'll
yeah,
see. Emmanuel Sanders may even have a catch next week.
right.
Uh,
Only 6 catches were had in the whole game by 49ers, and
and what? Two of them
Raheem
were
Mostert
from
had
running
2.
backs. From,
So, um,
on the
so
other side of the ball, though, I mean,
yeah,
it happened. It was there. You had 39 attempts from Aaron Rodgers, 31 catches for 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
he had some big mistakes. Obviously, I'm gonna throw out the touchdown at the end or the interception at the end. That doesn't matter. It's an irrelevant interception. The first interception was a bad throw, his fault completely.
Yep.
The fumble was on the center.
Yeah.
I'm not going to blame him for that one. He actually had a very good game. He played well against the best defense in football. The fact that he was 31 for 39 against that best defense,
Yeah,
he played
that was
well.
good.
Yeah. I think Aaron Rodgers is not done or anything like that. I don't think he's over the hill. I expect Aaron Rodgers to continue to be very good next year. Just remember that they're not looking for Aaron Rodgers to completely carry that team anymore, right? They've got Aaron Jones there, and they're going to use Aaron Jones
And Jamal Williams.
and Jamal
They like
Williams.
to throw him in there too.
Yeah. So uh, I just think with Aaron Rodgers, he's probably going to be closer to like the sixth, seventh, eighth quarterback, as opposed to the top 2 that he's been in his past. So Aaron Rodgers still is a must own, still is a must start, but probably going to get him a little bit later in the draft, which is really nice. So Aaron Jones,
Or you're going to see other people draft him off name value way too high.
that's true too. And then you can go get, better quarterbacks for cheaper. Devontae Adams, incredible when he's healthy. As long as he's healthy next season, I think Devontae's going to be a top 3 to top 5 receiver. Aaron Jones, I think, is very good. I think if they continue to work Aaron Jones as that lead back, he'll continue to be very good. He had, 19 touchdowns this season? And then he caught one in the passing game in this game, too. So I like Aaron Jones next season, too. I think he's going to be very good. Definitely top 7 running back, probably. Maybe even higher if he continues to score. But this game was all 49ers from the beginning. I think they had their first drive was a 3 and out, looked terrible, and after that it was over. So, all right, Justin, I know you're taking the 49ers in the Super Bowl, but
I don't know yet. I'm actually like still figuring out my analysis. So here's my issue with this. I've been saying it since the probably mid-season. The 49ers struggle against mobile quarterbacks. You saw Pat Mahomes on that scramble. He is a mobile quarterback. He can also launch the ball from one side of the field, all the way to the other side of the country. So that's something like, and they got those deep threats. So he's going to be able to run around. And that reminds me of Russell Wilson, and they struggle with Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson likes to scramble, heave the ball down the field. So that is something they struggle with. They did show improvement with that stuff. Their defense is really good, but they're going to have to be able to slow him down and get a couple stops, maybe turnovers if they want a chance to win the game. I actually think that if I were betting, I'm betting on Kansas City.
Yeah. The point I was going to bring up is the way San Francisco wins the game is controlling the clock with clock management, shout out. Also, being able to run the ball as much as they want. And the Chiefs just played against Derrick Henry, who's been running over the entire NFL over the last 8 to 10 weeks. And the Chiefs essentially shut down Derrick Henry. For Derrick Henry's production, what he got yesterday, that was a shutdown. The Chiefs could shut down the Niners' run game, and then they have to rely on Jimmy Garoppolo to keep them in the game and keep up with Pat Mahomes, and I'm not sure he can. So if I were betting, I'm also going to bet on the Chiefs. But history shows us that usually when the best defense and the best offense clash in the Super Bowl, the defense wins. So it's interesting to. I'm excited. This should be a good game. I think that probably the two best teams made it here. The Ravens might, argue with that a little bit, but the two best teams probably made it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think when Pat Mahomes is healthy, that the Chiefs' offense is better than the Ravens' offense. I think the Ravens have a better defense than the Chiefs. So I like it because it's kind of like the best offense versus the best defense in the NFL.
Yeah. Yeah, it should be a fun game to watch. I guess I don't really care who wins. I like to tease you, so if the 49ers lose, that'll be fun. But I just want a close, good game. You know what I mean? I want something like the Falcons and the Patriots. That was an amazing Super Bowl. I loved that Super Bowl.
I'm looking something more like the Seahawks Broncos.
No, that is not fun to watch.
As a 49er fan, it will be. No, it won't.
Yeah, I don't know. It should be interesting. We'll talk about a whole lot more going into the Super Bowl. We got 2 weeks till the big game.
Yeah,
we've got big show planned.
So next week, me and Perry were actually just talking about this. We're gonna get his buddy on our show. Do a dual podcast. He's going to stream it. We're going to stream it. And it's going to, he does a barbecuing podcast. So he's going to come on. We're going to make a couple different dishes he's going to make them. I'm a horrible cook. You don't want me to make them. So he's going to make them while we talk about football, some stuff you can make for your Super Bowl parties, things like that. So that should be a lot of fun.
Yeah. And then we've got the big Super Bowl extravaganza that Justin's been planning for a few weeks now. Bunch of different content creators coming on to talk about the Super Bowl, give their picks, give their analysis. And then, Justin, 2020 fantasy football season starts the day after the Super Bowl, and I'm excited to actually talk about fantasy. This real football stuff, man, is over my head.
Right? And then, man, also, so I do have I know which jersey we're giving away now that we know who's going Super Bowl. And I think everyone will be happy to know that it is not the Corey Davis jersey since the Titans didn't win. So I'm going to be giving away another autographed Tyreek Hill jersey and an autographed David Montgomery football during our Super Bowl show.
Nice. That sounds like fun. Sounds good. Tyreek Hill is going to score 4 touchdowns in the Super Bowl, and the Chiefs are going to win the same way that the Niners beat the Packers. That's my prediction right now, but I'll update that.
Yeah. I'm just starting to dig into. So, I mean, right now, like I said, I think that if I had to make a guess or if I had to make a bet, I'm betting on the Chiefs, but that could change by next week.
It won't.
My opinion could.
No, your opinion.
Especially depending on how much I've had to drink. If it's a Friday episode and I'm drinking, then I may be more confident in the 49ers. So
that's when I need to start making bets with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like you didn't already know that.
I knew that. All right. Well, that's all we had today, right, Justin?
Yeah, that is everything. I appreciate everyone who hopped into the live stream and dropped some comments. We appreciate that. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And we will see you guys all next week, and we'll make some Super Bowl dishes for you.
Later.